Hello everyone, welcome back to another video. If you watched my last video, then you would know I'm a bit sick right now. I'm getting over a sickness, and so my voice is still pretty nasally and messed up, but I still wanted to record this video ahead of time because I'm actually gonna be on vacation, so I need to get some videos pre-recorded. By the time you're seeing this, I'll probably be long gone, and hopefully well better off. But today, what I wanted to do was I wanted to just basically sit down. I wanted to do this a while ago, but of course I got sick and I wasn't able to. I was sicker than I am now, of course. But I wanted to sit down and watch the AMA that Gribbly Rec Room just released. Well, just released. It was a while ago. But I basically wanted to react to it, react, mostly give my input and basically, comment on all the little issues that they address, all the questions and stuff like that. So this is going to be a very long video, but if you would like to know my stance on certain things and, watch along with me, see what I think, just that this is the video for you. If you want to know what room I'm in, it will be in the description down below. It is called RRS Shooting Range, I believe. Rec Room Studio Shooting Range. It's a really cool and beautiful room. Check it out.
Hey everyone, welcome to beautiful downtown Cryptid Creek. Gribbly here, back for another AMA. I'm here with Corbins. So first of all, I got a few housekeeping notes before we get into the questions. So let me go through a few things with you. First thing, this is just part one of the AMA. As we went through,
I don't know
we
if we
found
need
that
to
there was
get
a
to
lot of
this.
questions. I got an announcement coming.
Yeah.
So we hope
Yeah,
on
big
July
announcement.
9th to have a really exciting
July
announcement for
9th.
Rec Room. So stay tuned for that. I'm not going to...
Wait a second. Tomorrow's July 9th. As of recording this right now. Bruh. When I'm posting this, everyone's gonna know what that announcement is, but I do not know right now. But is it good? Is it a good announcement? I don't know. But we're gonna have to find out tomorrow, I guess. I don't
say
know.
anything more than that. I'm going to keep it mysterious, but July
Yeah.
9th. Keep your ears open. And then
Probably
the
a
fifth thing I
new
want to say before we get to the actual questions
Rooms
is I just want to
2.0.
talk directly about the Save Rec Room feedback that we've been getting on
Save Rec Room,
Discord,
yeah.
on YouTube, on Reddit. You know, I think a common complaint under Save Rec Room has been, hey, they don't listen to us. Do they not care what the community thinks? They've removed features like weeklies and things like that. I just want to say, hey, look, first, we do read all of that feedback. Lots of people on the team, myself included, do watch the videos. We read the feedback. I think we're, what we found was that's not really a great business. You know, a common theme in the Save Rec Room feedback is, hey, everything Rec Room does is a cash grab. All they want to do is make profits. And look, you know, I've always been consistent. You can go back and look at the AMAs that I made in 2016, 2017. I've always said it's important to make money as a company. We got to be sustainable. But I think it's a misconception that, you know, Rec Room, all we're doing is like bringing in piles of money. We're, you know, rolling around on our giant piles of money, and every decision we make is a short-term thing motivated only by profit. Really, nothing could be further from the truth. Rec Room doesn't bring in a lot of money month to month. You know, we are not a wildly profitable company. We are still a fairly small and scrappy company in the scheme of things. And really, any money we do bring in, we are really investing in a long-term future. And I wanted to talk about that.
Okay, so this isn't some like deep dive stuff. You don't have to do a whole bunch of research to find this, but basically, you have this PitchBook website. You look up how many employees does Rec Room have, or whatever, something like that. How much is Rec Room worth? It's not gonna tell you anything unless you like sign in to unlock all of these statistics or whatever, which is really weird. But basically, it tells you that Rec Room has made a series of deals with certain companies. They're generating revenue and stuff. But as you can see, there are 361 employees currently employed in Rec Room. And so I'm just kind of wondering, like if this is true, which Rec Room really doesn't like release statistics to us to kind of prove what they're saying. They're calling themselves a scrappy company, and so I'm just wondering, like, what are all these employees doing? Like, why are I'm not sure why. If you could make Rec Room as a base game with all the Rec Room originals for, from 2016 to 2018, with being that small, a scrappy indie company that they were, um, I'm sure they did not have 361 employees then. What have those hundreds of employees, being added benefit to Rec Room if they're still not bringing in any money, if they're still a small, scrappy company? That's what I'm just trying to figure out here, because it seems kind of like weird to me how we're not really provided with anything. Like, no one is provided with any information about Rec Room as a company. And yet you look up and you see things like this, and I mean, like, you have no choice but to believe it, right? Because that's the only source of information you have. But it's like, that's the question that I have. Like Gribbly's talking about here. He's talking about how Rec Room is still a small, scrappy company, but yeah, I'm looking at the 361 employees and the millions and millions of dollars that they're bringing in every year. Um, and I'm still just wondering, why, how is that happening? And where do you go from here? If you want to propose Rec Room as a business model and try to, bring in all sources of income and stuff, which is what they're doing, they're monetizing everything in the game that they can. Honestly, they're shoving microtransactions in your face left and right. So, I mean, how much more could you really do at this point? They've made Rec Room a business. So, like, can they work on some features, please? Like, if you're gonna pay for everything you do in Rec Room, I wouldn't be surprised if they made a Rec Room original that was paid sometime in the future. I wouldn't be surprised if they made the game, paid. Um, and I mean, I would pay like maybe like $5 to own the game. Uh, Not much more, because in this current state, you can't have people paying for things in your game if your game is not worth paying for. So that's the only thing that I think people are complaining about. And this whole save Rec Room thing is kind of totally different. It's kind of like this weird movement by some rebels in the community. They don't know what they're doing. Therapeutic has made a video on it. I recommend go watching that.
A radically cross-platform social UGC experience. So UGC meaning
Yeah.
user-generated content, meaning that you can build stuff like My Little Monsters, stuff that's anything that you can dream of, using the same tools that we build to build Rec Room originals like My Little Monsters. That's the
And so that's where they're gonna take it. They're gonna take it to UGC, to where people can build stuff for them so they don't have to put in the work, so the people can generate revenue for them. And the whole entire game is basically monetized at this point. So that's definitely disappointing to hear, but I mean, we kind of saw this coming a mile away. Every single update is just Rooms 2.0, Rooms 2.0, Maker Pen tools, Rec Room Studio tools. They're adding and updating tools every single update. They're not working on games. They're not working on, bug fixes or anything. They're just adding more tools for people to make rooms. And why are they doing this? They're preparing for a future Rec Room where every single player is just making rooms for other players to play in, and it's just user created rooms. That's it. And there's just, yeah, it's basically like Roblox trying to become via Roblox, which I don't know. We'll see how well that goes for them, but let's continue.
journey we're on. That's the sustainable future for the company.
I'll
If we
try
just
not to
go back
pause too
to, hey,
much.
building quests, building paintball maps, shipping them out, that is
Yes.
not really a sustainable future for the company. There
Yes,
is not
bro.
enough money, frankly, in doing that for the company to
I
survive
won't
long
pause
term.
yet. I have
And we
something to
want
say,
Rec
but
Room to be around for the long term. That's really our
yeah.
motivation here. By investing in this, much, much harder project of making it a radically cross-platform social UGC experience, it means that, a bunch of really good things happen. It means that you can use the same tools we do to create anything you can think of. You can make money
Yeah.
as well as us by creating content for the Rec Room ecosystem. And it means that we've got an endless world for people to explore, to go all the way back to what made Rec Room special in the beginning, which is making friends and hanging out with people. So by investing in this kind of long-term social UGC future, that's what's going to make Rec Room sustainable for the long haul. And that's what we're investing in. And that's why we make decisions that I know some people Really, really don't like choosing to remove the weeklies, for example. I know it was a controversial decision, and I want to say like we don't do that. Our goal is not to upset anyone. I'm really sorry to anyone who's that was a really special feature to them, and they feel its absence. I apologize for that. The decision we make internally is, hey, that weeklies feature is not really on that long-term path to the top of the mountain. That is a radically cross-platform social UGC experience, which is ultimately what makes Rec Room sustainable in the long term. So we have to make the difficult decision as a relatively small team. What are we going to focus on? We have to focus on things like the creator tools that are directly targeting that long-term future.
I have so many things to talk about in this section. So he starts by saying that making Rec Room Originals and other games and improvements like that are not sustainable for the business model that they're trying to, put forward in Rec Room. And I'm just trying to, I don't know, instead of trying to go down this VR Roblox path, maybe, just maybe, this is a suggestion. What if you charge for the game? What if you just charge like $5 or $10 for Rec Room, and then new players they add to the monetary gain of Rec Room, and then you actually make new RROs, special things that only could come out by Rec Room. They're not just something that anybody could do, because it just becomes less special then. New RROs, you fix bugs, you make improvements to your game, and then you make it something that you could sell instead of something that's going to passively make money over time by refining the tools that people could use to make you money makers. Like, that just doesn't make any sense to me. How could you just ignore everyone like that? Like, that's what they're doing right now. They're saying that they're not, and that they're seeing everyone's videos and messages and complaints and stuff, but it's like, are they really though? Are they really paying any attention to it? They're ignoring us. That's what they're doing. I mean, I don't want to be so blunt about it and so negative about it, but it really seems like they're ignoring everything. They're so laser focused on this plan to be VR Roblox, to have these tools for UGC rooms, that they're just blocking out everything, a complete tunnel vision. And the problem is that it's just their player base is not going to be there. I don't know. Everyone who played the game in the past is going to dip out, because UGC rooms are something that, in my opinion, I check out every once in a while, but really, I only go to see like the featured rooms or cool rooms that my friends bring me to, like once a month, maybe once a month, and then I don't play them ever again. I'm playing dodgeball, or I'm playing quests, or some other RO to make a video in, because ROs are special. That's not something you could replicate with tools that you're trying to give people, and that's what I just don't like about this whole vision that they have. And second, he just breezes past the weekly challenge like that and just says, "I apologize for the people who, I'm sorry your feelings got hurt, but it was just something we had to do." Like, what? Like, you couldn't have even acknowledged it a little bit more? Like, the weekly challenges were a huge part of Rec Room, a huge part of the Rec Room culture, if you will. Like, you can't even fathom a world back in 2018 where weekly challenges weren't a thing, because that's how big of a deal they were. And then to just slowly thin them out over time to the monthlies, and then to not even do them anymore? Like, that's insulting to the players. And I know this sounds so stupid, but seriously, if we're talking about a video game here, I mean, it's insulting to the old players, to anyone who was interested in weeklies. I mean, and that was pretty much everyone. I just don't like this new vision. And it's just my opinion. Rec Room's not going to change, so it doesn't matter. But I'm not a big fan of this whole vision. Honestly, I think that they should focus on quests and Rec Room Originals and fixing their base game and expanding it more, and just charging up front. I mean, I think that would be the best. They should have done that from the start. If they wanted to make it a sustainable business model like every other video game in the world. Like, why? I don't know. It's so weird to me, but we're gonna skip ahead to the questions, player volume sliders. Let's see.
Eventually, I know the team wants to do it. I
Yes,
know we
eventually.
talk about it quite often. I don't think anyone's actively working on it right now, but yes, we do want that to be a thing. I think that'd be a good social feature.
Yeah, and that's the problem. Don't have anyone actively working on it. That seems to be the thing. 361 employees, but no one's actively working on something, anything, everything. No one's actively working on whatever he is asked about. Like every single question in this. I don't know if anyone's actively working on it. What are they doing then? Every single one of them is working on tools for UGC rooms? That's crazy. But player sliders, individual volume slider, that's cool. That would be cool. That would be really awesome if that was implemented. There's a lot of cool features Rec Room would do if they, focused on the watch menu and the UI and everything. They could do a lot of cool stuff with that. Especially that. I would like that because there are some people I like to hear and others I don't. So yeah, that would be awesome. I'm looking forward to that.
So
Creator
yes,
moderation.
we will
Let's
do
see.
it. Don't know when. Cool.
Next
All right.
question.
We are trying though. Our goal is to kind of be a little bit more transparent with like, here's what we're working on. Here's what's coming. I think some of it, to be honest, is probably coming from, like I said at the start of the video, our vision is very focused on building this radically cross-platform social UGC world. That requires a huge investment in the creation tools, in the UGC side of things, the user-generated content side of things. And so I think a lot of that development, a lot of what people are working on feels pretty abstract. But yeah, fair criticism. We got no agenda to hide things. I think we do get busy. I think maybe we don't always.
I don't think they were, talking about any agenda there, Gribbly. What you're referring to there? I don't remember the question saying that. But yeah, this is a valid concern because it has kind of felt like Rec Rooms just like kind of disappeared over the years. Because there's a couple reasons, and one, like Gribbly points out in this video, it's very true. What they're doing right now, bringing out all the tools, they're working on the Rooms 2.0 tools and the Rec Room Studio stuff and all that, trying to make the UGC stuff. People don't care about it. Like you do update patch notes, like you do patch notes in an update. People don't care. They don't look at that. They look for what's new, what are new features that I can use as a player. What are some new, what's the new Rec Room Original? What's the new news that's coming out? They don't look at any of the tool stuff. I know I don't. I scroll past it every single time looking for the good stuff, and I don't find anything ever. It's to the point I don't really read patch notes much anymore because I know it's just going to be UGC stuff. So that's one reason because that's all they really care about right now, and people don't care about that. And two, I think it's because the AMA stopped. And the YouTube channel kind of died down a little bit. They didn't post on YouTube that much. Of course, he talks about how they've been in Discord, and Discord is a very closed community because it's like their own private server. You got to go into it. It's a lot of work for someone. You got to get in there. Not everyone is seeing that, but YouTube is much more open to where I think that maybe they should post on YouTube a little bit more and talk about some new things coming to Rec Room more often, like they used to with the AMAs. So I'm not saying they need to do AMAs all the time, but maybe just short videos saying like, here's what's new in Rec Room kind of thing. And I think that's why people are not seeing as much transparency because of those two reasons. But let's get back into this.
True. I've talked about this on the Reddit. We definitely have some high-priced items. I wanted to kind of make sure I could say something smart about this. So I actually went back. I went and talked to the team, and we actually pulled the data for
those dreaded words
over the last couple of years.
I went and talked to the team.
First of all, let me just kind of talk about the average cost of an item over the last 2 years.
If you
Mm.
go back to July of 2020,
Whoops.
the average cost of an avatar item, like literally the average, was 1,750 tokens, 1750. And if you
Source, trust me, bro. Also, 2020, not like 2018, 20, like, a couple years before when everything was actually low. 2020 is not that bad, though. It was a while ago.
if you fast forward to today, so if we pull the number for today, the average cost
Uh
of
huh.
avatar items is 2,300 tokens. So that is an increase. It's
Source, trust me, bro. Also, I find that hard to believe that it's not 23,000, but we move on.
definitely gone up. But on average, the price has gone up about 25%. And I should be
Mm,
clear that that's
yeah.
what people are actually spending in the game per day on avatar items. It's not the sticker price of the avatar items. It's definitely true that at the high end, our most expensive
Huh?
items have gone up more than 25%, but the average cost has not gone up that much. So this is one thing, is that I don't think the price increase is as extreme as people think. But I'm not trying to say you're wrong to have that criticism. I'm just trying to say, hey, there is some data on that. What you will see is a much broader spread of items with some really interesting, cool stuff that is at a more affordable price point. So hopefully.
That's what they should do. Yeah. So you're talking about like premium items like the Ninja Turtle stuff, the Barbie stuff, things that they've collaborated with other like IPs, corporations with. They probably make some sort of deal where they have to, jack up the token prices so they can get more revenue to reach that deal with the company, and that's probably why they have certain high prices for those items. I don't blame them for those collaboration prices, but I do blame them for the cosmetics that they make for their own game. Those have been very, very high, and they're kind of the same quality as all the other ones. And so I don't know. It's this is a mid response, I think. He did pretty good on one side by saying that they're hoping to, have a wide range of cosmetics, have the lower end ones for, you pay less for lower quality, and then pay higher prices for premium products, which is like, that makes sense. Um, I think, I don't know how to say this, but to me, certain like these cosmetics, I don't really know how to differentiate premium from, lower quality. It's not like clothing, like they're making this out of silk versus like just some cheap thread. I don't know, like it's digital. It's not there's not really a way to distinguish it like that. So that argument is kind of weird to me, but I get where he's coming from a little bit on this one. Yeah, the token prices are ridiculously high, and they're justifying it by saying they need the money because they're a small company. And okay, if you're gonna, that's fine. It's a free game. If you but want to buy the cosmetics, it's fine. If you don't, it's free game. You know. So I don't really have a problem with that. I mean, I do. I don't like it, but am I really gonna argue about it? Not really. All I can say is, I like looking at the cosmetics. I like seeing the new collaborations. Just looking at them is fine. I don't need to own them. And Rec Room does cook sometimes. They make some pretty fire accessories and things like this backpack. Look at this, bro. This is fire. This thing is. Can you see it? This thing is fire. Oh, this thing is fire, bro. That's why I bought it for like 7,500. I thought that was fair. 7,500. Maybe I'm just brainwashed. Gaming RR YouTuber, RecTuber. I'm brainwashed by the corporate Rec Room. Anyway, let's get back to this.
And I think that's a really, really exciting future. It does mean that, we have to be super, super focused on investing in things that get us towards that future. And that means not paying as much attention as some of our players would like us to. And frankly, sometimes as much as we would like to.
So he admits it.
We would love to go back and spend time just polishing up, paintball or laser tag or doing another laser tag map. The big one that comes up a lot is, hey, build another quest. It's been 5 years. There's definitely a part of us that wants to do that. We get why people want that. Those are fun things. We're really proud of those, games that we made and those features that we've shipped. But we really, really got to keep our eyes on the prize of what is the sustainable long-term future for Rec Room. We think we know what it
So,
is. We're very, very excited about it. We think we're making
okay,
huge.
so I know their angle now, and I just have one question. I'm going backwards. Once they reach that goal of the sustainable future of Rec Room, then are they gonna start making more well, I guess that is what he said at the start, isn't it? So they gotta get to that point, and then they're gonna start making Rec Room better. But they gotta make themselves more money first. They can't have just like a small team of people work on some stuff while the rest of the people do, the big stuff. That's what I'm just trying to figure out. Because like why do they have to focus all their energy on this one thing when they can, when they have so many employees, they can split it up. That's what I don't know. That it's kind of confusing how they're doing this, but I'm starting to get it more by watching this again. I'm starting to get what he's saying, and I don't like it. But if we stick around for however long this takes, then maybe Rec Room will go back to how it was. We'll just have to deal with annoying UGC rooms, um, alongside that. Maybe after that, if that's a success and Rec Room makes a bunch of money out off of it, then they'll go back to how things were and start making quests again and start improving the base game, and that would be awesome. Let's all just hope for that. That would be awesome. All right, next question.
I guess, I mean, I'm going to guess this question is aimed at the kind of Rec Room is dying narrative. I mean, Rec Room is not dying just objectively by the numbers. We're adding users.
All right, bro. Now this is where I caught Gribbly lacking. No. I'm kidding, but I'm also not kidding because why did you say that, bro? You said you were not doing good. You said that you had a small team and that you were not able to sustain yourselves, and yet you're saying, oh, now Rec Room's not dying. Right? We're actually doing great. The numbers are unbelievable. You wouldn't believe it. Which one is it, Gribbly? Which one is it? Nah, but like, I mean, I get it. Like, it's, Record's not dying, but it's not like, great. It's not like Roblox numbers, but yeah, I get what he's saying, but it's like, at the same time, like, let's continue.
We feel good about that. But look, I think in the spirit of the feedback that we're hearing a lot and that I agree with is that at the end of the day, it's not all about numbers. Something that I've always been passionate about. Like I've been working in video games for 30 years, Corbin. Do you believe that? I'm an old man. So I've been doing.
What do you mean it's not about the numbers? Isn't that the whole point of making the UGC rooms is to get numbers?
This a long time. I've been working on a lot of games in my career. Amazing
All right,
industry.
bro.
If you're looking for
They're starting to confuse me, but
games. But games really when you get right down to it is, you have to balance three things.
All right.
You have to balance creativity and making something that's creatively interesting and creatively satisfying and interesting and cool and has a lot of love in it. Super important. You can't make a cool game without that. But equally important is there's a technical piece, which is what you're doing needs to be technically possible and needs to be technically challenging. You need to be like, raising the bar in some regard of like, what are you doing that's technically interesting? And then the third piece of it, that's all three of these are equally important, is the business piece. Is there a business model that supports what you're doing? Because if you've got only creativity but no business model, no technology, you've really got, it might be a really interesting piece of art, but it's not something that's going to sustain employing a lot of people or having a company. If all you've got is business and no creativity, then I think you do have really something corporate and soulless, and and those things often don't sustain very well or build good communities. And obviously the technical piece is really, really important to make it all possible. If you can't solve the technical problems, you might have an amazing idea with a great business model, but if you can't build it and execute it and keep it running, then what's the point? So that's how we think of it. Is
interesting choice of words there, Gribbly. What do you mean by that? You can't run it. Gotta be not corporate, not soulless. Interesting choice of words. My opinion on this one, I think he just kind of like doubled back a little bit. Because earlier he said that they had to work on the business model of their game, but then he's saying that there's 3 equal parts to it, and you can't just focus on one while ignoring the other ones. They have to be equal, so it just leaves me, questioning if they're focusing all their energy on this UGC tools to make money for the business to support themselves. Where's the other two, the creativity and the technology? So I guess they're working on the technology right now. One could argue that the technological thing is how the game is running. They need to fix that. They need to fix the bugs and the issues in the game. Creativity. When it comes to UGC rooms, not very creative. I'm gonna be honest. It's Roblox, but in VR, you're letting your players do all the work. Your creators do all the work for you. That's not very creative at all. But working on your own rooms, own Rec Room originals and things like that. That's pretty creative. What Rec Room was originally was pretty creative and technically worked in the old VR space, but it didn't focus on the business, and now they're going too hard on the business aspect of it, in my opinion. But Gribbly says it's okay. Now let's go to community sentiment. Let's see.
Chunks of the community that speaks to us on Discord and Reddit, is mad at us. The team feels that, I feel that. And I'm not criticizing anyone. I think if that's how you feel, you should express it. I've always said from day one, again, go and fact check me from the earliest videos that I made with Hairy Manlegs from way back in the day. I would always say we would rather hear the feedback, positive or negative, than not hear it. So generally, I'll tell you what's really bugging me is just performance in general.
Not bugging.
Like, I'm doing this AMA in a quest.
Bugs.
The performance of Rec Room is annoying me as I make this AMA. I think the performance of the UI is substandard. I think some of the rooms that I'm going to, the performance is too low, so that's really bugging me. So if I had a magic wand and I could fix that, that's what I would focus on. I think we've got a question coming up on optimization and stuff later, so I'll save any deeper answer.
Bro, base Gribbly is real. Nah, but he talks about performance, which is good. He needs to be talking about performance. That's what the heck? Anyway, that's one of the major things that's wrong with Rec Room right now is the performance. Not good for some people, especially Quest people. For me, I got an Epic PC. Hey, it's whatever. But for a lot of people, not good. No bueno. So gotta fix that. He talks about how people aren't agreeing with them. And this is because I'll tell you why, Gribbly, if you don't know. The reason people are not liking you right now is because you are stupid. No, I'm just kidding. I'll just say this now. Nobody wants UGC rooms. I don't, except for like 3-year-olds. Really, nobody who plays Rec Room wants UGC rooms. That's the thing. They want to expand the world of Rec Room, the game that they knew before. They don't want it transformed. And that's why people are upset. That's the reason they're complaining right now. Too many things are changing, and obviously, that's what the point of that's what Gribbly's saying right now. That's what he's been saying this whole video, is that they're trying to transform Rec Room into this multi-platform UGC community game, social game, and it's not Rec Room. So that's why the community's mad, because they're transforming it and not expanding it. There you go, Gribbly. That's why people don't like you anymore. I'm kidding. I like you, Cameron.
Don't intentionally set out to make those kind of decisions. But yeah, all I can say is kind of referring back to what I said at the start of the video. We have a long-term vision here. We are building towards something that I think is really, really special. And it does mean that sometimes we make decisions that, if you're not thinking about that long-term vision, or maybe you're not bought into that long-term vision,
I'm gonna be honest, bro. If they didn't actually set out to make the decision, let's just do the weekly challenges as an example. If they didn't seek to do that, then what did they do? Like, it just happened by accident. They're like, oops, I just deleted weekly challenges. Whoops. Didn't mean to do that. No, they meant to do it on purpose. Like, why else would they do that? Like, I don't know. So it's kind of, it's a weird roundabout way of telling people, kind of like sugarcoating it, basically saying, try to change things a lot. We don't want the old game as it was. They're getting rid of a lot of old features because they're trying to, weed out the old game to make the new game. That's what they're doing. They're basically making a new game. They're making these decisions on purpose, but it's not in the community's best interest. Rooms 2.0 transition, I don't care. Older RO updates.
Corbin, tell me
I
when you're
remember
recording.
this one.
I am recording.
Okay, so I am starting to run out of time. Being good questions. Let's do lightning round. Let's just boom, boom, boom. Get through as many as we can. Let's go.
Right, here we go.
What
Will
else
there
do you
ever
have
be
to do,
plans to give
Gribbly?
old ROs content updates?
Yes, I think we will, but it's
Oh,
going to be
huh?
in a way that fits into that long-term vision of investing in
Oh,
the
shut up.
creator-driven platform. So
What
I
do you
think
mean by
it's
that?
unlikely that we'll just go back and touch the RROs in place. I think what is likely is that we will, in close consultation with the community, very carefully, very respectfully, we love these games as much as you do, look at adapting them over to the creation systems so that we can live operate them, we can update them more regularly. And we can also offer pieces of them as templates for our creators to use. So I think we will see some new life breathe into the older RROs. Go into the details. I'm sure the person asking the question agrees with me that we do need to optimize. As for when, I don't want to give any answers. I don't think I have good credibility on answering this question in terms of time. What I want to do here is show, don't tell. What I will say is that there is some pretty interesting work going on. We are investing in this. I think there is some very interesting work in the pipeline. I don't want to make any promises about when. I don't want to make any grand claims.
So he basically said, yes, we need to fix FPS. It's going to happen. Yeah, we'll probably fix it, but when is it going to happen? What's it going to have in it? Your whole question. I can't tell you. That's basically what he said. That's a very Gribbly thing to do. All right, next question.
I want to show, not tell. Hopefully it'll be
new quest.
A new quest. Could you please share if there are any plans for a new quest?
The only good thing about this anime right here.
I've said this publicly before. We will make another quest.
They will
at some point. We will make. Like, anytime soon? No, it's not going to be soon. We will make it when we're ready. And what?
Yeah. Stick around. Stick around, Rec Room players. New quest. Me in 2050 when Rec Room make a no quest, when they still don't. Me when.
Yeah. I think we talked about this one earlier. Hopefully I covered this one pretty well earlier. Just to recap quickly, I think we did communicate confusingly on it, and I apologize for that. That's on me. With weeklies, they were never a widely used feature. That doesn't mean that they're necessarily unimportant, because as many people have said on the Reddit, on the Discord, hey, just because only a small percentage of players are using it, those are some really passionate players who really care about that feature. And that's fair, and I agree with that feedback. It's really two things. It's like, hey, it wasn't used by many people, and more importantly, we didn't feel like we could do a good job supporting the feature. It was clearly decaying. It had gone to monthly. No one...
I have, decaying? They did that. Rec Room themselves did that. Went to the monthly. First of all, where did they get that statistic that only a small amount of players did it? Because if you were to take that statistic from, a year ago, it probably would be much larger. And if it was from like last month or the month before it got removed or whatever, it's probably very small. So that's one thing. And what else did he say? Couldn't make a new skin for something, a new weapon skin, a new basketball skin. They couldn't afford to just open up Blender or Photoshop or whatever they did that in and just, make it one day and then put it out every week. They couldn't have one person do that. One person could. I feel like I could do that. I feel like I could look up a YouTube tutorial and learn how to make a Rec Room skin and do that in one day and put it out. If that was my job, For sure, I could do that. So what's the problem there? Once a week, just doing a new idea. They were re-releasing things left and right anyway. They weren't even making new ones. So what? And people were still doing them because the premise of it was just fun to have challenges to do every week. Update the challenges with the new Rec Room originals that you're bringing out. You know, make new challenges. I don't care if you re-release the skins. Keep the challenges there. That's what we like to do. You don't mess with our weekly challenges, bro. That's messed up. I don't like how he answered this, but moving on. UI performance, not good. I don't really care. Activity boxes, bro, I have something to say about this.
That's a good question, actually. So I think the answer is yes, kind of. So the answer is the reason Make It to Midnight and My Little Monsters don't have activity boxes the same way that, say, Paintball does is that they are built with the creator-facing UGC tools. They are not built using the old RRO systems. And the creator-facing UGC tools, like, we don't give our creators the ability to just give away avatar items.
Bro was just yapping on about these UGC tools. Man, wish you would shut up about it. I'm sick of these. Oh my goodness. From watching this video, Coach.
Next question.
We're going to
Coach.
Coach.
It seems that over recent years, you have been slowly phasing out Coach in the game and in promotional material. Is this by accident?
I swear if this dude says UGC one more time, I'm gonna lose it.
That's a good question. I haven't really thought about that. So, hey, Coach is eternal. Coach sees all. Coach rules over all in Rec Room.
Whatever.
No, not really. So I think I think people's complaints about the lore are pretty well founded. You know, we have people who've worked on it over the years and have done a good job of it. I think there's been some fun and cool ideas, and so I don't want to criticize that creative work. But I don't think it's central to the promise of Rec Room. I think it's pretty peripheral. I think it has been mainly used as a way to kind of make the avatar items more interesting. And I think it's been pretty clunky. I don't think we've done a great job of it. As to what the future of that looks like, I'm not sure. Here's the lore that I think we really feel like is central to Rec Room is kind of the sense of being on a campus, having a dorm room, having the rec center that you go to, this kind of introduction to the world where you're kind of very vaguely like a student coming to a university, coming on campus, that kind of like orients you in the world. We really care about that, right? We really care about the vibe of Rec Room being grounded in that kind of Rec Room universe. The stuff with, like, you know, the kind of more fantastical stuff of, like, you know, S and the Celestials is very cool. It's like some really cool creative ideas. I don't think we've done a good job stitching it all together, and I don't want to promise that we're going to focus on doing a great job stitching it all together. It's really just not, I think, at the heart of what we're trying to build, which is, as I've said a million times, this really creator-driven world that we're trying to build together with creators, as opposed to, hey, we're just providing ideas for you. I think it's fair to criticize the lore. I think it's been cool.
Okay, a couple things to say about this. The lore, obviously, I've called this in previous videos. I knew what they were doing all along. I knew that they were just making this stuff up left and right. They were just making new cosmetics to put out there to sell. So I ask you this question. If they have someone or a team doing these cosmetics and writing lore that does nothing, then why can't they make one weekly skin? 1 day per week to put out. 1 day per week. I ask you that. If they're doing all this work because they're not getting paid for it, because it's not something they can monetize, huh? That's what it is. But yeah, I've called this all along. He basically says that the lore is a bunch of mumbo jumbo and that it's nothing but to sell cosmetics, which is kind of cold, Gribbly, to come out and just say that, like, not even sugarcoat at all. It's funny I say that because I was talking about how he sugarcoats everything earlier. I don't want him to sugarcoat anything. I'd rather him say this directly than do what he has been doing this whole time. But yeah, he just comes out and says that, you know, we don't care about your stupid lore theories. We don't care about your bite of 87. We don't care about any of that. You know, it was all fake. It's all fake. We hate you. We hate the players. That's what he says. It's 2 a.m. I'm sorry. But I don't really care about the lore. I never did. I made like a bunch of videos on it. Made a lot of videos on it for someone who didn't really care about it. But yeah, I mean, I looked into it a lot of times, and then I just realized, this is stupid. It's nonsense. I think it's also interesting how he says that they're focusing that the college dorm room lore is the central lore to Rec Room, how you're supposed to be on a college campus, and yet they're going for this UGC thing. So is that dorm room or college campus feeling when you're going in if you're going to Poppy Playtime roleplay, you got college campus games like dodgeball and paddleball. You got a park and a rec center to hang out in. Suddenly you're in being chased by Queso Ignited map made by a 3-year-old. It's not very college campusy to me, Gribbly. But we're almost done here. I'm running out of steam. New RRO maps. This was a bad idea.
Will you guys ever go back and add new maps to old Rec Room originals like Laser Tag and Rec Rally?
Yes, so like I mentioned this a couple of questions before in our lightning round. Yeah, I think so, but only in the context where, like, for example, we might take something like Rec Rally and kind of update it to use absolutely latest and greatest creative systems, like, for example, bring it over to the
right.
room.
All right.
And in that
Yeah,
context,
don't
These are
care.
Optimizations to get Rec Room running better on the Quest 3. Also, is Crescendo able to run on the
Crescendo?
Quest 3?
Crescendo?
Yeah, okay, so two fair
On
questions. So
Quest
on the
3.
first one, general optimization, yeah, like I said, I'm in a Quest 3 making this AMA right now, and in some rooms, like, relatively simple rooms like Disc Golf Lake, performance has been great, super happy with it. In some of the more complex rooms, it's been really, really suboptimal. So yeah, I think you'll see us investing in making the performance better on Quest 3. The truth is,
That's good to hear.
Crescendo almost runs on Quest 3. We actually are able to play through it. It doesn't run too bad. There are some pretty major graphical glitches that we're not sure how to fix. Like, there's just some weird shader issues, and like some things only render in one eye, and it makes it kind of weird and fucked up. So we haven't actually shipped it for those reasons.
Did Gribbly just... we're not allowed to say that on this channel, Gribby. We're just put some soap in that mouth, Gribby Blibbly. What a shame.
Just isn't on the line to our long-term vision for Rec Room. So that doesn't mean we won't do it.
I'm rolling my
we'd
eyes
all
right
love
now.
to find time if we could justify it at some point. But just like with weeklies and a lot of other things, like, we've got to be really, really.
All right, so I had hope there at the start, because he said that they got it working, but there were some graphical issues. I was like, oh wow, they actually tried. Like, that's good. I commend them for that. Like, actually trying to get it on the Quest 3. But he's like, we're not going to do anything else about it because we're laser focused. I don't like that. Like everything else I've been talking about. I don't like that. But what you gonna do about it? We're almost done.
And to bring back community more often, and having that kind of two-way conversation. We'll see how that goes. I'm hoping that'll go well.
Cryptic answer and something new.
Next RO.
Well, so what can I say about the next RO? Here's what I can say. There is going to be a next RO. The wait won't be as long as it has been between previous ROs. I will say the work is well underway on the next one. It's looking very, very cool. I'm very excited about it. I'm not going to say anything more than that. I haven't talked to the team about it. They would be mad at me if I leaked anything. But I think it's super neat, and I think you'll love it. All right. I think that's going to end.
All right. Final thoughts to wrap this up. That was a very mid AMA. Got some things, that we didn't want to hear. A lot of questions not really answered. A lot of cryptic answers, like usual. But there were some highlights. Some a little bit of a light at the end of the tunnel, because if we could just get past this phase that Rec Room's in, where they're just laser focused on the UGC stuff, once they get that over with, I'm really hoping that they'll come back to us, the players, and kind of, tend to what we're complaining about. Try to fix their old Rec Room originals and try to make some better new ones and improve the game. Because that's really what they need to do. But I appreciate you all watching, and gosh, and putting up with my sick voice because it is driving me nuts. I can't even talk half the time. But I really wanted to make this video for sure. Before it was too late, because I'm gonna be gone soon, of course. If you enjoyed this longer style of video, want me to react to more things, then yeah, definitely let me know down in the comments below. I definitely gotta do more videos talking when I am not sick, because this is seriously, I probably sound so bad right now, but I had to do this. Thank you to my members, Sleepy, Felix, and Warden. Wait, his name is not Warden, Vamp. My bad, bro. I almost did it. But I did it. Anyway, that's gonna do it for me today. I will see you all in the next one. Thank you so much for watching. Leave your opinions in the comments below. Do it. Or else. I'm just kidding. Goodbye.